Hello. Hey, we're live. Welcome. Start up in a month. Month 2, day 11. Afternoon session. Start date 2106.2576. Alright, cool. Yeah, okay, so cool. Yeah, we're getting back into live streaming for the second time today. Took a little break last week, and I'm kind of getting my sea legs back underneath me. It's kind of a funny thing. Yeah, you get into this for any number of days, or you do anything for any length of time, and you do it over and over again, and you get kind of more used to it along the way, a little more comfortable with it, and yeah, coming back to it's kind of a strange experience sometimes. But at any rate, yeah, just a couple days of adjustment until I get back into the swing of, not only daily live streaming, but also live streaming in the afternoon, so it'll be okay. Feels a little shaky right now, but guarantee no one at home is perceiving that right now, so you know what, it's okay. We're all good. Alright, cool. So, anyway, you know what, let me get this thing started up again real quick. Got VirtualBox over there, great. Vagrant up dev. Then once we've got the site running and once we're connected to everything we need to be connected to, we can get into the game plan for the day. So anyway, just a little bit of watching the terminal output text and we'll be good to go. Yeah, machine boot and ready. Oh, hold on. You know what? Let me Vagrant alt dev. Let me do something real quick. Because usually I've been running this thing. Oh, now I got OBS running at the same time too. So I was gonna say that running this thing is usually something I do when I'm like off the stream. I don't think I've actually run this thing on the stream before. And let me make sure there's no information in this Vagrant file that I'm not going to want to show. I think there probably is. How about I just do this off screen? What's 48 times 2? That is 4096. It's going to double my RAM allocation for this thing. Okay, cool. Up, dev, provision. Yeah, let's see. Base memory 2048. Okay, cool. So that did work. Excellent. Man, so fast. Yeah, because we were having trouble with like scripts not running very quickly yesterday and things like that. I guess while waiting for this thing to provision. Kind of watch that over there for something to watch, and then Vagrant file boxes. Yeah, if you go down here, config VM box. There's search. Alright. CPUs, plugin development basics. Come on, man, there must be something in here. Commands. Provisioning, file shell, Ansible, chef. Vagrant file, minimum version. Man, where is this? Disks, overview, VirtualBox, overview, providers, overview. Well, anyway, at any rate, we had something that set the memory to 2048, but in a very interesting turn of events. Yeah, maybe if I open this off screen and then show it, I won't display any sensitive things. Anyway, if you go into your config VM virtual provider VirtualBox do, you can set the VirtualBox memory really easily. So this is 2048, now it's 4096. You can assign a number of CPUs. So this is all information that affects how your virtual host on your virtual machine, like how much access it has to like the resources on the host machine. So I basically changed the config to say like, hey, you can have this much memory and use this many cores to like run your stuff. So now that we've got double the memory, I think things should be running a little bit smoother. Alright, cool. Cool. Alright, source control. Let's open our apps backend first. I think we're going to be doing some work here today. And we can connect to the host once more. Definitely open workspace. Open folder, apps, app. There we are. Okay, we're gonna go crazy with a bunch of stuff, then we're gonna open the workspace, and hey, what do you know? We got a nice color code for our app, nice color code for our backend. So that's really sweet. And now I wonder if the app is running app.local Picstory Studio. Nice. Okay, cool. Great. So yeah, yesterday, what did we do? We attempted to integrate a modal library, since I really want to focus on like the mobile UI for this app, and that means that stuff like this, like adding layout blocks, I think that's like a really good use case for like adding in a modal. It's like you can't really see it on the screen right now, but kind of the idea I have for this is that when you open up the main UI, what you see is like the story that you're building. So any pictures you've added so far, any text you've added so far, and then like somewhere here, there's going to be like a little edit mode, like pencil icon button thing, and that's going to like, toggle whether or not there's like buttons on the screen or like different UIs and stuff. And so that'll like add these buttons to the UI, for instance. So when you click this, it's actually going to trigger the opening and closing of a modal, and that modal is, that modal is going to have the various different like layout block options we've got here. So you click add new layout block. Once you add this, you've got that layout block, and it'll just add it in the place that you designate essentially. So anyway, we're having some trouble with that yesterday. Some kind of weird errors that I didn't know, but basically what I figured out is that for like closure script reagent interop with a React component that was written in JavaScript, so like not a component by way of reagent that like maybe you wrote yourself or that you're even requiring from a library, but a React component that was written in like just vanilla JavaScript, doesn't know a thing about ClojureScript. What you need is this like colon caret syntax, and so that was our missing piece yesterday. And if we save this, you know what, I think such a dance. Such a dance. Okay, so I also commented out my DevTools URL, which means that our hot reloading is not going to work, but if we go back into Supervisor, which is the app that we are using for kind of managing our processes on the server. Sudo supervisor control. We can restart that app and then stop app. Stop app. Ooh. Yeah, I think Andy's going to the RAM store. Activity monitor. Yeah, I guess I can move that over into the corner, can't I? Oop. Not the whole screen. OBS. Not the whole screen. Come on, man. Okay, there we go. Memory used. Pretty much all of it. Well, OBS seems like it's doing okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to have an upgrade pretty soon, but fortunately that's shouldn't be too big of a deal, I think. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. Oh, damn it. I think my spider sense is telling me, well, actually it's a shared folder, right? So I was gonna say I think I had to npm install, but I don't. Okay, cool. So, all right, we've got everything running. We can see that we've got a new modal. It's stale outputs. Alright, great. So I had that modal commented out before. Put it back into the DOM just so we can see that that's working yesterday since we got held up. So yeah, I think for a first step, I want to take these. First thing I want to do is comment this out because I'm not quite ready for it yet. So yeah, anyway, I want to take these layout buttons, I want to put them into the modal, and then I want to get the modal to be triggered by buttons. So yeah, let me go into here. Moving template selector buttons into modal. Or maybe better stated, creating template selector modal. Excellent. Great. All right. Let's get started, shall we? We'll see how well I've got my environment set up here. So I've been having some problems in terms of getting things to work, or at least work consistently, or not break for long enough to like get something like actually productive going here. So I think what I'm gonna do is, yeah, it's a model, right? It's not really in the document layout. One thing I can do is rename this frickin' function, right? Main UI. Yeah, we'll call it that. All right, cool. So yeah, how about we just say like defin template selector UI. It will return a modal. And within the modal, instead of that thing which says hi, it will return following section. Cool. Now if we render that, I guess we don't need to render it in the main UI, do we? Probably a better idea not to. Just for purposes of, oh, whoa. Oh wait, no, this is what we want. Okay. Things are looking a little weird, but that's okay. So let's just real quick comment this out to make sure everything underneath it is still okay. Yeah, okay, cool. That's still broken, but we'll also fix that. All right, cool. So, right, I guess we need to get these buttons launching the modal, and then we need something to close the modal. Then once we've got a basically functional modal, we can start working on like layout for the actual buttons. Very good, very good. All right, so add new layout block above and below. And new layout block. All right. So render templates. Add layout block. So we got that button and we got this button last. Add layout block. Cool. So I've got this add layout block function, and yeah, right now it is saying take the selected layout block and add it to the DOM, and also populate, well, not really add it to the DOM, more so like update these atoms that we've already got in terms of like you know what the layout blocks have. So it's taking that atom and adding in the result of conjing this new configuration object onto them. But yeah, I think this is going to become the new atom selected layout block, insert index. Right. And layout block. Yeah, we want to do like two things here, right? We want to, what are we doing? We are, let's see, first and foremost, opening the modal. And we are taking this index, which right now we're passing straight to layout block, setting the insert index in state, opening the modal, setting the insert index in state. Once layout block is clicked, fire existing, add layout block function, right? So yeah, instead of just passing this like straight into the function, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save this in an atom and kind of like, you know, keep it for like future reference essentially. And then once we open the modal, whoa, hello, what? Ah, thank you, Signal. I don't need you to be open right now, and I don't think I asked you to open. Nope. Okay. Right, so we're gonna open the modal. So anyway, we're just gonna like flip a switch in states, saying whether it's like, you know, displayed or not. We're going to set the insert index in state just to keep track of it, and then once one of those layout blocks has been clicked, we're going to look at whatever that insert index was and then call the function that we had already and then use that index to insert it. So I think that's relatively simple. Dusty keyboard. Okay. So if we're going to do that, we need some more atoms. Atoms. Def once atom block selector open atom false. Def once atom template insert index atom new. Then that's it, right? Yep. More state. Getting nervous to add more state. So I got a whole bunch of little variables that are just kind of champing at the bit to fight with each other. Alright, so I wonder, I think the onClick function just becomes something where like I call two functions, two effectful functions, which I think is what you do for do the following stuff. So, right, it's not going to be add layout block, but it's going to be like a reset atom template insert index to be that index. Then, yeah, where'd that come from? Ah, that's the end of the props object, right? Okay, so first thing first, we're going to reset that atom. And a word wrap. All right, reset the atom, beat that value, and then when atom block selector open, when false, I think this is the function. Returns true if x is the value, false, false otherwise. Right, okay. So when false, atom selector block open, resets atom block selector open to be true. Cool. And I'll put that on a new line to make it easier to read. And just real quick, let's make sure we're using when correctly. Yep. When that form do this thing. Cool. Right. Yes, that's kind of a... Oh, wait, hold on. Where did index come from? It came from the map. Okay, that's okay. Alright, so let's see. Add layout block. Yeah. Cool. So it's not the indexed here, but it's the keyword last, and otherwise it's exactly the same. Great. 1/3, half, 2/3. Yeah, I think maybe 2/3 would be a better way to do this. All right, cool. Yeah, so let's click the button and check some atom values, eh? Let's refresh for good luck. So it should be open, and the index should be 0 when I click that button. Load that namespace. Oh, first things first. Connect to a running REPL server with Calva. There we go. Launch the front end build. Load that namespace. Very good. We have a JS namespace available. Then we do like atom block selector open. You should be true. Atom insert index should be 0. Oh. Right. Now it should still be true technically, but now the index should be different. If I click that second button, it should be 1. Last. Ah, well, anyway. Computer knows better than me what the index should be, but I can only assume that the index is going to be true when it's an actual number. So great. Hey, we wrote that right the first try, right? It's cool. Getting more to the point where I can write this thing right the first time. All right. So now we can use this in our modal. And if any of this worked the way I thought it would, then that thing would be open right now. Ah. I'm trying to dereference a no pointer, man. Now you open. No. F expression call is not a function. Atom block selector open. And let's turn that back to false, and then let's see if that's a problem with our component or a problem with our code. It is indeed. If expression something 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 dot call is not a function. Right. When false. No, that's right. So I've got two ideas. Either can't use this like shorthand thing. I've used do wrong perhaps. Do. Do example. Fun def fun by extension let have an implicit do. Yeah, so I don't even really need this. I would need it in like an if block, but if I'm using a function, then I can just put forms one after the other, which I guess I've seen before. I've actually done that. That's great because that makes things easier. Green, green. Where's that blue coming from, man? Got an unbalanced expression. Unbalanced form, I think, is that error. Alright, so I think I need to wrap that. I just need to wrap this. Do run run. Don't need the do. Okay, so a function that resets this, resets that. Block selector open. So now if I change this, I hope our error is gone. Okay. Last. Let's see if that's did anything. Expected long click listener to be a function, stack got a value of Boolean type. Well, I have to wrap everything in the function in a form as well. Do example. Yeah, maybe I don't need this outer form. Maybe I can get rid of that. Still a little bit shaky. I'm gonna need I need parens when I don't need parens. I think generally I've got it like 99% right, but there's like subtle situations where Atom block selector open. What's your value right now? True. Last should be 0 now. Cool. All right. Yeah, so maybe that was my problem. So now if we go to our modal again, change this back. And the modal opens. Modal does not open. Is the modal in the DOM? Is the modal in the DOM? It's not. Does the modal have a problem? modal has a problem. What's your problem, modal? Is this anywhere to be found in the DOM whatsoever? It's not. If I called the function, I'm not. There we go. So now it should just be like there. Right. Now, let's see if we can close it. That is open. Probably need that for later, so we'll just leave it in, right? Okay. Refresh, click the button and it shows up. Yes, there we go. Cool. Great. Okay, I think a couple things to do. Oh, it's got like a nice little overflow property on that too. That's really nice. Great. And does it scroll in the background? It doesn't. Oh, that's even better. So that's another accessibility thing you can't really do. So have the main page scrolling in the background while you've got your modal open. And it's supposed to be like, you know, for all intents and purposes, essentially like a new page on top of the existing page. So the fact that this library does that for me is very nice. All right. Yeah, so I think I want a close button. I think I want it to be the same one. So close. It's going to be over here. All right. Just add that here real quick. Get our button back. Take care of that later. It's really another thing you're supposed to do is not use a icon in the place of text. Well, you can do that. That's kind of like a complicated UX thing. But one thing you're definitely not supposed to do is have a button with an SVG and like that's it. So like no text, no ARIA label. Because if you do that, then no one can delete. Yeah, from the perspective of a screen reader, it's doesn't have anything to see. Reset and Atom block selector open to false. All right, open. Close. Nope. Always the ampersand man. Always messing that up. Nice. All right, cool. Very good, very good. App element is not defined. Right, I read this in the docs. It's not recommended, but you can do this shitty thing, which makes your modal inaccessible. Don't put that in your error message, Facebook. Right. Yeah, you know, I'm definitely going to want to do this. And you know what? I'm going to stick with this library. React modal. Let's just follow the breadcrumbs again for how I find this in the first place. Or even better, let's just React modal. There we go. Okay, so something like app. What was the error message? Set app elements. Set app elements. Right, so we want to say like set out element root, I think. Let's check the index HTML for that. Root, okay. So we want to do that, but Yeah, we also gotta like dip our toes a little further into this whole like JavaScript interrupt thing. So I don't know how to do that in ClojureScript. So geez, ClojureScript, JS interop, npm packages. Why ClojureScript works so well with npm? Yeah, I bet that's Shadow CLJS. It's gonna have something for me. Interop. Usage. Dealing with .js files. Covered how npm packages are used. Right. Alright, so we require the package, we give it a name, and we say name slash method. It's telling us to do modal dot set app elements. So hopefully it's as easy as that, right? Utility, let's make a modal. So I think we've already got enough stuff going on here to warrant this. It's a good opportunity to learn how to do children. Define modal. It's like keys. Open as props. We're just gonna run this keys open and children. To pass children to reagents components. Reagent mysteries part 4. I like the title of that blog. I like the URL. Keys, name, age. And children. Right, that makes sense. Oh, hold on. Conversely, our children also works when you're implementing a plain React component Clojure, yada 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 yada. It looks a little weird, if I'm being honest, so I think I'll just do this. That's a little bit more like a seems a little more in tune with the Clojure way of doing things. Alright. So do the modal and then render the children thusly into a fragment, go the children into UL. Into, did I put that in braces? No, I don't need to. Okay, into a fragment go the children. Will someone please think about the children? Alright, so now that we got this in a package of its own, we can do that. Require this as that. That's cool. Alright, Alright, so we got a namespace, we got an external component, and we got a function, all with the same names. I think probably I'll change that. Unused binding props is open. Def-fun modal. I think having a namespace and a function with the same name is okay. Alright, great. So let's take this. Let's get it out of there. Did I just cut everything out? No, I didn't. Alright. Alright, so now we want to import that from the file it's used. It's now defined in modal. Refer the modal component. Now here we just say modal is open. Going to be dependent on the value of that atom, and then the children are this. So, to my naive mind, that seems like what we need to do, so let's find out if it worked. Didn't. Objects are not real, it is React children. Alright. So get rid of that. And let's just try test 1, 2, 3. Picstory, pages index, invalid refer, modal component does not exist. Ah, right. Makes a lot of sense. From that file, refer modal. We'll refresh, but we'll still have a problem. Ah, right. Even though we're calling it as a different name. Well, no. That's right. I think. Use of undeclared var, Picstory pages index, modal component. Oh, jeez. All right, we're good. I think we are. Yeah. Is open. This value is null. That's because we're using a different API on the outside, which might not be a super great way to go about this, but is open just seems like a economy of words thing that I don't want to get into. And we're back. All right, cool. Great. So now we got a much simpler reusable modal component, and we can do that thing that it was telling us to do, and it doesn't have to muddy up our already fairly involved index file. All right, so right, it's gonna be like modal components. What was it? Set app element. Div with the ID of group. Was that it? Trust but verify. Div with an ID of root. Yes. Root. No. No single quotes enclosure. Doing some PHP of all things earlier, so I got used to the idea again that any old quote character is fair game. Whoa. Okay, what now? Assertion failed, invalid, hiccup form, null, open, false. Oh, right. There is no function called modal.setAppElement. If we refresh, hopefully we'll get something on the page. Hopefully we won't have that error anymore. Excellent. Great. What does that do to the DOM, I wonder? Roots already hidden. Ah, cool. So it adds already hidden to the like your whole app basically. So that means that yeah, you can't even like accidentally get there from here. As far as the screen reader is concerned, the modal is the only thing on the page while it's open, and then you close, and a whole bunch of crazy markup stuff happens. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, this is great. This is like a tab sentinel trapping thing, which is a really cool accessibility strategy. So another thing that you need to be able to do when you have a modal on a page is keep tab focus inside the modal. So we don't have any, well, I guess technically we do have interactive elements. I wonder, right, so it might be kind of subtle to see, but yeah, I guess that's relatively clear to see. You see how the like this has like a little focus ring, and then when I tab to this button, it gets a little focus ring around it too. So if I hit tab a bunch of times, what it's gonna do is like cycle back to the top. Right? So we did like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it came back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. And that is what's going on with these like little tab sentinel things. So these are like you know, things at the top and the bottom of the document. And when you tab and you hit one of those sentinels, either going like down in the case of hitting tab or up in the case of hitting shift tab, it's going to hit one of those, and depending on which one you hit, it's either going to send your like tab focus to the first focusable element or the last focusable element within the modal. So as a super cool, very refined, kind of crazy strategy for you know, keeping the tab focus inside your modal when it's open, and it's really nice to just have a component that does that for me. Great. So we got an overlay, we got content, and then we got the actual stuff itself. Okay. So if I set this to 1, does everything else just disappear? Oh no, hold on. That's the overlay. Really, what I wanted was what's behind to go away. So that's the overlay that's covering the body. This is the content. That is currently like kind of translucent, which is not exactly what we want. So let's go back to the docs to figure out how to use that. Minimal example. I just put a class on this thing. Customizing using CSS for styling. Yep. Point. Modal text. Close modal. Right. .modal .overlay. Class name modal overlay. Class name overlay. Cool. So I could probably even use Tailwind for this. So class name, camel case, overlay class name. Well, don't really need the overlay class name just yet. So BG White. All right, cool. Is that what I want? It's not. Oh, geez. Yeah, it blew away all the class names, period. So I'm gonna have to style this. Margin 6. we go. About padding 6 as well. I really wish when I hot reloaded that it would update the HTML. Maybe that could be my research project for, I was going to say the afternoon, but by the time I finish streaming, it'll be the end of the day, huh? So why can I see everything underneath you right now? Okay, we got padding, we got margin, we got opacity. You know what, we get there, remember that sweet overflow scrolling thing by giving it a custom class name? I think we might have. Yeah, that's too bad. Let's rename those class names one more time just so we can see what those styles are. And then recreating that in Tailwind and or custom CSS should hopefully be not that hard. It's probably just a overflow X scroll kind of thing, right? Alright, content. Position absolute inset. What is inset? 40 pixels. Background overflow. Overflow auto. Tailwind CSS.com. Man, quiet chat today. Oh shit. Coding Coffee. Hey, sorry man, I didn't see you. You've been there for like a half hour and I didn't see the chat. Kim Stewart, good evening. I was just thinking the chat was a little quiet. And maybe I should leave this on top. So I've got a new thing where the chat messages are like appearing. They appear as overlays now. Oh, hold on. Is this not working now? Chat, meteorite. Oh, it's just like very faint. Yeah, that's why I didn't see it. It was like dark on dark. Yeah, I was just kind of taking a break last week. Appearance. Yeah, it's fine. I don't really want that. Scale 100. Embed in stream. Message background opacity. Just make it full, right? Theme. 8-bit compact. Comic. Cool, but oh, that's neat. Not really a Fortnite guy. Lol. R6 boxed. Are you talking to me? AC Odyssey. That's pretty cool. Minecraft. Yeah, I'm big into Minecraft. Yeah, that's cool. We'll go with the Minecraft. Anyway, if you're still there, you guys, thank you. Yeah, taking a break. Needed a break last week. Alright, overflow auto, perfect. Yeah, it's weird, right? Because I get the little Shadow CLJS thing that like pops up here, and then yeah, maybe like if I wrote a new function, it would be like called differently, but yeah, the actual markup doesn't change, the CSS doesn't change, so yeah, I don't know, something to debug. It's like simultaneously something I feel like getting just right, but you know, this stage in the game I can kind of live with it too, so you know, I'm more or less cool with it right now. BG Whites. Overflow auto, and then man, maybe I should just do overlay class name. Let's figure out what these classes are first. Overlay. So we got position fixed, background color. Oh, it's not even in the map, is it? All right, cool. Position fixed. I don't know, it's probably just fixed, right? And then I'm gonna need some heights. Height full. Height screen, what's screen? BG blue. Just see if it worked. We set that to super obvious. Overlay class name. Is that the name of the prop? We solved our reagent mysteries, so I don't think we need that open anymore. Yeah. Broke a whole bunch of stuff. So what was it that broke? I wonder. Perhaps position fixed? Nope. Height screen, width screen. BG blue isn't working either. Yeah, back to the docs. BG white background. Color. Customizing colors. Probably got this somewhere. Yeah, maybe I need a number. Maybe that's what I'm missing. BG blue 300. High screen, width screen. And position fixed doesn't work. Position absolute might. Alright, so we got the this, but we don't have the positioning. React modal podal. Body open. Display grid. Because it's in a. I think that's my own CSS. Playing with things. position fixed. Top 0. Oh, there we go. Yep, top 0. Yeah, that's what we want. So T0. Is that what it is in Tailwind? Top. Layout display floats position. Top right, bottom left. There we go. Inset 0. That's what we want. Fixed inset 0. The height and width of the screen with a nice background. Very cool. So I guess we've discovered a couple things. We discovered how to customize the classes, and we discovered that the background color is not why this is showing through. SD0. Yeah, so annoying. Not a Z-index thing, is it? Z-index. Oh, it was a Z-index thing. Yeah, alright. Yeah, I'm doing Z-index thing on Z-index stuff on some things in the content itself, so I guess that makes sense. Z10, why not? Inset 0, Z10. Great. We can open it, we can close it. Oh, and everything's all like nicely laid out too. All right, great. Cool. Okay, so yeah, I've worked in a couple places where like modals were kind of treated in terms of like small, medium, and large. So this would be considered a large modal since it's like literally the whole screen. Although I think for something like this, a smaller modal might be in order. So it's really easy, I think, to go overboard with this stuff, but string modal size class. Be really cool to be able to set this for props. Alright, so that's all there. What? Fixed index 0, Z10. Yeah, I guess I need a background color anyway, right? Color, customizing colors. Yeah, if I did a BG gray 100, yeah, that's probably okay, right? BG gray 100. Man, if that's not one thing, it's another, eh? you know what? I bet I'm missing a space there too. Yeah, that's definitely what's going on. There we go. That fixes it. So I had a string which was like Z10 height screen, no space. So that's what was goofing up my CSS. I'll just add a space in there. All right, cool. Oh, good opportunity to do let when. 404. 404 rich key. I love that. Let when. Loader cheat sheet. When let's. That was it. When the test is true. Size small. Does William have like a? Or is that conned? When true, print line, like a default value. When true, print line, hello world. If one do 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think what I want actually is conned. Else, yeah. Conned equals size small. Return like height 50, width 50, I think. Those are indeed the classes I want. Height 50, 50%. No, it's rems. Height 1/2. Yeah. Yeah, height 1/2, width 1/2. Yeah, definitely width 1/2, but height 3/4. Great. Now if we go back to pages, we go to our modal. We go open true, we go size small. We should get a smaller modal by default. Well, not by default, but for this particular one. Right. Not quite what we want, but we're getting close. So we want that, but centered. Right. Just put that on the wrong element, didn't we? Modal size class. And this should really be height screen, width screen. And don't really need to do any string interpolation on it. And I'll just leave it in there just in case. And layout block, cool. Just a little bit of margin, we're good to go. We're using like inset 0 for this, but I wonder if there's like a different inset thing we could do. I wonder what the actual layout for this is. So the overlay has the contents. Overflow. It's not absolutely positioned, it's positioned inside the overlay, so that means we can use yeah, it means we could use like Flexbox if we want to. Flex column flex call. We want like justify contents. Yep. Flex call justifies center align center. I think that will get us what we need. Nope. What's your malfunction? Man, we got this nice nice flexblock inspector. We're not using it. Right, you are a flex container. What's your problem, man? Flex call, justify center, align center. Center, I think the align items. It's not correct. Items, item center, right? That's the wrong class name. Items center. Okay, fairly sure it's going to give us what we want. And aside for content that is just a little bit too wide, it does. Excellent. Alright, 320, we're on a roll. We're on a roll, I think. Alright, so what we gotta do next? I think we work on the layout for what's in our brand new modal now, and I think what we do is we work on like the height and width of these things so they're not like you know, like blown up, you know, like way too wide and kind of like in the wrong perspective relative to like what they're going to look like on the page. So I think getting these like more square is going to be a good step, except for this one, which is going to be kind of a like a rectangular perspective in the end. And I think that putting some kind of like label on top of them too would be good, because I'm calling this side by side and window pane and single row in the code, and I think if I had something to like semantically tie these things to them, just so you know people have something like written out to associate them with, then that would be good. Yeah. Great, so let's hop to it. Select layout block. Right, so that function's going to be different too. That's going to be, it's not going to be select layout block, that's going to be add layout block. So that's something we're going to need to do as well, but for now, we go into template block collection, see what's going on here, if anything. Collection. Alright, displayed in a grid. We've got one column with a 5 rem row gap. So maybe to start a smaller row gap. Ah, yeah. Yeah, check that out. We get hot reloading with the CSS like no problem. No problem at all. That's really nice. Yeah, maybe at the end of the table when we're winding down and everyone left anyway. We can work on that for the JavaScript. So maybe it's something in my Shadow CLJS config. Source path, source, yeah. Source. Browser. Root public. This thing is probably how it knows where the CSS is. Yeah, it's interesting. I've got, well, it knows where source is because that's where it's like building the app from. But yeah, something for later. Not right now. Be nice to have, but it's not super important. Okay. So template block correction, I think that if I made this narrower, yeah, I think we're gonna put that in Tailwind with one half. Let's see what that looks like. Nope. I think I need a bigger screen to debug that with 50% of the block selector. So it's the selectors themselves that are breaking out. Okay. So now I need to go to the templates. Just one more time, remind myself what these are called. SR template selector. Template selector. Relative. Yeah, what's blown out? Is it the button itself, or is it the content within the button? Perhaps both. With 100%. Min max 10 rem. And that's the max width. Nope. Just for a lark. Let's try limiting that to a specific width so we can do that. Maybe you need max width. No, did we just try that? Yeah, we totally just tried that. Yeah, have you guys ever seen this? CSS is awesome mug. This is exactly what I'm experiencing right now. It's overflow stuff. You got this like nice tidy little box model which is supposed to like, you know, solve the whole universe. Let's keep everything locked up into you know, little boxes, but you know, invariably you end up into this overflow stuff and you don't know how to fix it. Yeah, I want to say it's got something to do with grid. Yeah, so if we change the one fraction to 50%, we get what we want. I wonder how I would make a grid with like margin on the side. CSS grid. CSS tricks. Properties for the parents. So we got columns and rows. And typically what I've been doing is I've been like having these like kind of throwaway columns with like something in the middle. I wonder if I could actually good template areas, not what we want. Gap. Column gap specifies the size of the grid lines. You can think about it like setting the width of the gutters between columns and rows. Okay. So I think it's not what I really want because I've got like one column that I want, you know, padding around. So I think maybe I'm looking for is like padding 25, which is going to leave me with 50% left in the middle which, you know, after that I can use the, you know, the fraction unit no problem. Side by side relative selector, so if I do like padding P1/2 maybe. Padding. Fractions, fractional padding, P dash, PB, PL. Vertical padding, responsiveness, padding scale, variance. No fractional padding, huh? Padding bottom, right, top. Yeah, maybe I can get away with like a fixed number. What if it was like padding x20 and everything? Padding x20 and then, yeah, one fraction. Oh, God. Yeah, that's kind of what I want, right? Like we got the things to be narrower in general, but that just meant that, well, everything else got wider as a result for some reason. So what style rules are causing that? Max width 100%. Okay, 100% instead of one fraction. That was the key. Okay, 100%. Template block collection. And I think I actually wanted to PX20. I think I wanted to put that there. So if I go back here to our layout blocks, I get rid of that. I think this will be more or less what we want. More or less, right? Still need to fix this. Oh, what? Oh, interesting. I must have saved that halfway through. That's really interesting. Wait, hold on. PX20, it's still there? The build I'm looking at must be stale, as they say. Yeah, now I'm getting different problems. Okay. Grid template columns, repeat to min max 25, view widths, one fraction. 50%, no. Yeah, what were you? You're playing well. Min max 50%, one fraction. Template rows, 10 rem. So what is it about you that's making you bust out? Yeah, I guess it's the view widths. Min max 50%. That's what we're gonna need there. There we go. Cool. All right. So we've wrangled our templates in line. Let's just do an easy thing right now and give them some headings. So 1, 2, 3. Call these H2s test it's like an H1 template selector. Alright. Single row. Side by side. No pane. Right, Scoob. What do I do now? I don't know, Haas. It looks like I closed all my strings. Yeah, you mess up one thing and single row. Side by side. And window pane. Reconnecting. And our error is magically gone. Okay, well, don't know why that happened, but that fixed itself. All right. Yeah, so I wonder what we could do here to make these look a little more legit. I was using view widths before, which was kind of nice because that made it so that I could get that square shape really easily. Good template rows. Min-max 50%. Yeah, layout mystery. Oh. Almost got this flow done. Yeah, no, let's focus on functionality for now. I'll save these vagaries of cascading style sheets for a later date. Yeah, I feel like getting some work done, man. Okay. Alright, so we can go to the selectors and we can change that function call, because that's one thing we need to do. On click, it's going to be add. Boy, what was going to be? It was going to be add layout block. It's not select layout block, but a function call of add layout block with the Atom template insert index. Get it working, then make it pretty. Yep. Sometimes I want to make it pretty and then I want to get it working, but yeah, in this instance I'm okay with the strategy of get it working and then make it pretty. Okay, cool. So now I think, did we complete the whole cycle? I think we might have. Nope. F expression call is not a function. Add layout block at the insert index. Yeah, it's like hash thing. You know what? I bet I could have used that like anonymous function shorthand, but what I didn't do is I didn't call this function within an expression. S expression, I think those are called, or a form more generally. If I'm gonna be using the correct terminology. Error rendering components. What's the problem now? Add layout block. Oh, right, yeah, because I still need to know which one has been selected. I guess I can just pass that in this function, right? Set the index and the block type. Now allow me to get rid of an atom, which is never a bad thing. Getting rid of state is, well, as functional programmers, it's kind of what we're trying to do. Alright, so that's going to be single row, side by side, and then window pane. Okay, I think that's what I need to do. Excellent. Hey, look at that. Alright. I think I need something for automatically closing that modal window when I do add a layout block, but oh man, it's looking so much nicer. Yeah, man, yeah. Yeah, this is cool. Much better. Cool. Alright, so yeah, let's template selector UI. Man, I bet I could like can I write this as a function in a let block? So I could just like write that out and then like do like a, you know, reset modal open to false, but let's is there like a let function? Let fun? Yeah, let fun. That's it. Yeah, so this is like defining a function within the scope or closure of another function. That's exactly what I want. Let fun. Function spec, function name, parameters, and expressions. Or function name. Takes a vector of function specs in a body and generates a set of bindings of functions to their names. Okay. Let function enclosed in a paren, function name, arguments body. Yeah, looks pretty routine, I'd say. Let function select layout, select template. Type block. Yeah, why did I call this? Block type. Alright, so this is going to be a process of adding the layout block. Do I need that extra paren? I think I probably do. Okay. So add the layout block of that block type, and yeah, we're also going to wrap everything inside that scope. That's good. Then we're going to reset atom block selector open to be false. Great. And I've got a syntax problem. Too few parens, I would guess. Yes. Alright. Okay. So I add the layout block and then close the modal. Yep, that's cool. Then on click is going to be hash Select layout, select templates, single row, and same thing all the way down except for the name of the block. Side by side. New pane. Excellent. Alright, if we go back, it should look the exact same, but the modal should close when we select the templates. We're not quite there. Yeah, it's man, it gets me every time. I'm gonna have to do that about 500 more times before I get that right. Hey, but look at that. Invalidarity 0. Invalidarity 0. Block type. Invalidarity 0. Is it because of the double print thing I got going on? Possibly. Yeah. Speculating earlier that when I'm using this anonymous function thing, I gotta have parens inside parens to actually call functions from that shorthand anonymous function, but that's not right either. Okay. But yeah, man, that's exactly what we want. Add new layout block here. Window pane. Nice. Excellent. It's working. Add new layout block side by side. It's working. Excellent. I can delete them too. Hey. I can go back to square one. And I can add more. Ooh. Yeah, this is starting to feel like a real thing. It's starting to feel like a real thing. Yeah. Alright. Excellent. Great. Alright. Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate you, appreciate the kudos. Yeah. I've kind of had this, like, whole front-end thing in a real messy state for a long time now, so to get it closer to, like, the thing I have in my head, at least visually speaking, is really nice. Yeah, there we go. Still doesn't look all that great. I mean, let's be real, but yeah, starting to match up a little more with like the idea I've got in my brain for how this thing looks. All right, cool. So yeah, 3:48. We're gonna be going for another hour and 10 minutes. Stopping at 5 p.m. EST. So I think I'm gonna take a quick break and just get a little bit more water. So I'm gonna do that, and I'll be back in like a couple minutes or so. So I'll see you guys in just a moment. Alright, here we are, back in action. Hydrated and ready to take on the world. Alright, cool. So, yeah, where do we go from here? Single rows, side-by-side, window pane. Yeah, so we've got the ability to, like, add, images to this, but that's, like, half of the picture, right? And that's down for what I want to get done today. Add text. Yeah. Yeah, I think moving on to adding text is going to be a cool thing to do. Yeah. It's layout blocks clicked, fire existing, and layout block function. Yeah, we got all done. Excellent. Okay, so yeah, how do we go about that? Let's get a clean slate here. Let's see what's going on. So I guess, yeah, now we got the concept of like a button. Yeah, okay, so we got this button here. And I guess we could do like two things. We got this big invisible button, which is like adding the pictures, and yeah, we could like add a second button. So if you can imagine, we've got this button here, which says like row index, call index. So instead of that, we can say like add image, and then if we do like, well, actually, I think we'll have to do this. Div. Do like add image and then add text. I could do it that way. Oh, great. That's just silly. But anyway, you could imagine that it would be like, you know, half the size on top, half the size on bottom, like with 50% of both of those, and then you've got like add image and add text. But I think add content. Yeah, I'm trying to like look down the road so far as like the UI is concerned. So let's take a moment to like sketch this out real quick. Maybe I can like kind of talk out loud what I'm trying to do, and then you can figure out what the best course of action is here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so let's start with like idea number one. It's gonna be like edit content, edit style. Yeah, it's like one way to do it. Yeah, I think I like that. So anyway, let's get that up on the screen, right? Big webcam for notebook mode. All right. So, yeah, here's kind of a demonstration of what we're talking about. So right now, well, let's go back to the main thing. We've got ways for like adding content, and that's great, but that's kind of like half of what we're trying to do here. So we're adding content, but also a shortcoming that I'm trying to kind of fix for when it comes to like the thing that we're like emulating, which is that like Google Photos thing that I'm so dissatisfied with and wanting to improve. So we've got like editing content, but also editing style too. So I want people to be able to do like creative things with like the photos in these like layout blocks, or like the text in these layout blocks. Like I want to give them options for changing the color if they want to change the color, or changing the font or changing the font size or something. So it's kind of like two separate things, right? Like the content of what you actually have, and then the style of that content. So what I could do is I could have buttons for like editing content, which would bring up the UI that we have currently. So that would add buttons for, add text, add images. And then I could have a button for like edit style. And so that would add buttons to everything. And instead of those buttons changing like style things, or changing like content things, that would bring up some kind of like UI interface for like changing the style, for instance. So, yeah, the option would be like that, or the other option would be to like kind of tie that to the block itself, if that makes sense. I'm not even really sure how I would do that. So it seems more muddled. So add style. So yeah, that idea would be like, doesn't look so different from the other drawing, does it? But if you can imagine that these things are like tied together, and like every single layout block you get is gonna have like options for like adding content or adding style. So maybe that could be the thing that like toggles the buttons back and forth between these two things. But yeah, it seems like a good way to end up with a really crowded, muddled UX situation. So I think this is not only simpler, but I think it's a little more flexible, and it's gonna like result in like users having like one place to do that, for instance, as opposed to having to go into every single little individual layout block and select like, hey, change this style, change that style. So yeah, I think the simpler option is better, and it's going to give me more flexibility in the future. Like, one thing I'm really trying to not do is get too far ahead of myself. Like, try to, imagine things like 15 steps in advance and plan for that accordingly, because that's just, that's just like guaranteed to be a failing proposition, basically. Yeah, can't get too deep into the game of predictions, since this thing is like changing day to day. So I think sticking with the simpler, more extensible option is going to be the way to go. That being said, let's get going on that simpler, more extensible option. Right, add image, add text. Right, so I went off on that whole tangent because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with those buttons, but now that I know that I'm going to have separate UI for adding content and separate UI for adding style, I think what I'm going to do is add a button for adding text to layouts, to templates. Cool, alright. So we're going to get into that, and basically what that's going to consist of is having like a 2-button option here. First button is going to add the pictures, as we've been doing this whole time, and then the second button is going to add text. So yeah, let's start. Okay. Man, big change, big change. I think we've written things in such a way that this change won't be so intense. Alright. Side-by-side content selector, test image. Right. Okay, so how this functionality is going to work is still a bit of a mystery to me, but I know we can start with the buttons themselves. That's a good place to start, so let's start there. Div, just empty div. Okay. So So first things first, we gotta move all these buttons into divs. I'll use my refined Lispy shortcuts to make that super easy. Alright, so these are all wrapped in divs now. And the layout's all messed up, but that's okay. You know what, actually I probably want to move those classes up onto those divs. Border 2, border black. Must be the afternoon, right? Still trying to figure out what my best schedule is in terms of like streaming versus like, you know, taking care of all the stuff off stream that I have to take care of, and balancing my energy and making sure that I can work at a reasonable pace without like totally burning myself out. Okay. Yep, that's cool. Yeah, now we need 2 buttons instead of 1. Alright. So easy enough to start. Just add the same button back in. Make sure the indices are still correct, since we're going to need that down the line, guaranteed. Alright. Cool, so now we got 2 buttons in there, which do the exact same thing. I guess we can work on layout too, right? Which kind of gets back to the question of, you know, making these things appear correctly in the CSS. Quick template rows, window pane, repeat to min max, min max 10 rem maybe. Yeah, that's a little better. It's not exactly going to be square in all instances, but close enough for rock and roll, as they say. Alright, great. So now that I got that, yeah, I think a flex layout for the buttons themselves is going to be the easiest. The flex layout by way of Tailwind, I believe. Alright, so flex call, yeah, that's all I need, right? And now the buttons themselves need classes. Class height 50, height 1/2, height 1/2, width full. Cool. Yeah, there we go. Now just give that to all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, missing the flex classes on the wrapper divs, aren't I? Yep. Great. Oh, did I just get the high reload just there? Did you guys see that? Maybe I did. Great. So now I got 4 buttons that do the exact same thing. But this button on top is going to add an image, and the button on bottom is going to add the text. Alright. So, yeah, now I need every other button. Say add image. Yep. That one. That one and that one. Then every other is gonna say add text. Great. No hot reloading for you. Add image, add text, cool. I guess it'd be helpful for them to have a little bit of a border too, just to kind of visually differentiate between the two of them. Border. Blue. Border 1, border black. String problems once more. Perhaps. Nope. Border 1, border 2, border black, border, what? Oh, right, yeah, it's even numbers with Tailwind. I'm always forgetting this. Multiples of 2, given how the whole rem situation is actually working with you know, the whole library. Ah, come on, man. What is this? Yeah, I've been getting this error a lot of late. I don't know why. Border 2, border black. String literal not terminated before the end of the script. Boy, and as far as I can see, I don't have any unterminated string literals. Let's just back up. Get back to the point where it works. And user back forward. Okay. Border 2, border black. Okay. Identical to what we had before, I'm pretty sure, but yeah, I don't know why I got that error, but it's okay that I do. Great, so yeah. Now, yeah, we're in kind of a funny position here because we've got this button which adds an image, and eventually this is going to be like kind of like a modal situation too, where the button, I think the most likely version of this is it's going to launch some kind of like image selector. So for the longest time, this has just been like, you know, something which adds some like random test image from some like random URL. So that's what we got so far. And that's what we've had for image. And so for add text, I think we want to start moving away from like dummy stuff. That was kind of yeah, I think that's a little more valid so far as the dummy images is concerned. But if we're going to be adding text, I think we need to give the user a text area inside one of these blocks, and yeah, that's gonna prompt them to fill something in. Well, is it going to be a text area inside the block itself, or is it going to be a modal? Questions. Probably easier as a modal, right? Because if they've got like a lot of text to add, then putting it in the context of like the block itself might be a little bit tricky. And also once we come to the point of like editing text, probably having like text editing UI, which is separate from the actual layout blocks themselves, is going to be useful. Because like, suppose someone added text and they put some style on it and then they want to go back in and like edit the text after the fact, I think it's going to be nicer for them to like have a separate entry UI, which they can like just enter in like, you know, plain unformatted raw text, and then like, you know, the crazy go wild, you know, part of my brain, like, you know, the formatting and like styles they've added will be like visible as they're like typing that in. So I think that's a good move. Yeah, let's stick with that. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of implies a lot of things, doesn't it? It implies a modal, it implies kind of scrolling the content above the modal. Like if you can imagine this is a phone screen and the modal, well, we go back to draw it, shall we? You've got like your phone keyboard, has a bunch of keys on it. And you've got, like it says, like dark and stormy. And then you've got layout block itself. Go back to the notebook. So that's kind of what I got in mind. So you've got like your keyboard right here, you've got your text area right here, and then you've got like the actual block that you're editing, which has been scrolled to the top. So I guess if it's scrolled to the top and this thing is just like kind of position fixed on the bottom, then that's not actually like all that complicated. And it also means that this work we did to wrap. Also, let's go back to the correct view here for OBS. The effort we want to turn this into a reusable component is really nice, because now we can use the same thing and just give it like different props, and we'll more easily get like a modal with a text area that we can just like kind of slap on the page. So that's cool. Yeah, so yeah, trying to figure out how I'm gonna do this. I think for now, all I want to do is I want to launch that modal on click. Then I can worry about like state and actually saving things in their respective state variables. But yeah, I think just getting this thing, getting the thing on the screen and getting it into a place where I can like, you know, enter text with it. I think that's a good place to get. So let's get there. Okay, we'll depend content selector. So we got an on-click prop, an on-delete, and a row index. I think it will behoove me to rename these props, but just for the content selector elements. Okay. So this used to be called onClick. Oh, hello. Wait, no, that's okay. It will now be called on, maybe like add image, and then we'll say like add text. Right, well, not quite yet. these on clicks are going to be add text. All right. So now we got an add image callback. We got an add text callback. Add image, add text. You don't have an add text yet, but we'll add that after the fact, after we've proven our concepts with the window pane. Right, okay. So now we need to go back to the pages. And in places where we called that prop on click, we need to now call it on, or add image. That's the block selector, that's not right. Add new layout block. Layout block map, what are you? Content selector, yep. Okay, this is the function. Add image is going to be add photo, and then add text is going to be print line. That's tickled. Cool. So that should still add the image, yep. And this should print line. Oh. And text is null. Yeah, that just needs to be an anonymous function itself. Add image, that works. All right, cool. Now we're logging when we add text. Great. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so add text is going to, right now, just launch our modal. So, more atoms. Oh god, more state. Atom block selector open. Def once. Atom text input open. Our atom false. Alright, so now we got an atom to control our text input states, and now we just need a new modal to render. Alright, so template selector UI, text input UI. It's going to be the name of this component. Alright, define text input UI. Oh, I put you in the wrong spot, didn't I? Alright. Great. Okay, Atom. Jeez. You ever have that experience where you make a variable and then you instantly forget what the name of the variable was? It happens to me constantly, all the time. Hello. So let's just see if we can make that open when we click that thing. Pretty sure we can. Nope. Pretty sure we can't. Okay. That tickled. Nope. Add image is going to be resets. Atom text. For Pete's sake, atom text input open. True. Great. And I think I probably want a button for closing that thing too, right? Reset Atom text input open to false with a close icon. Need to wrap this in a div, I would bet. Great. Alright, I think that's what we need to get something on the page that we can subsequently close. So let's see. Still logging the wrong thing, huh? Nope. What? Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, at the very least we can get rid of that error. Shadow CLGS 111 ready. Well, I'm guessing that we have some difficulties. It's QCat, isn't it? Got old JavaScript. Don't know why this happens. Factory with throwing shims. Good old prop types. That tickled. And text input open true. And text. Wonder why, wonder why. I need to wrap this in more parens. It's been the question of the day. How many parens do you need? It's approximately 1 billion. Alright. T-F app. Really like supervisor, but I just don't know how this thing works sometimes. Help. Tail. Help tail. Tail app standard error. Build completed. Tail dash F app standard error. Alright, we should see that update when we save that. We don't. At least I think that should change. Okay, stop app. App is now stopped. Wait, hold on. I think we're getting a cached version. Alright, cool. So start app. While the app is starting, I will elevate my standing desk. Alright. Tail app. Dependencies updated. It's still starting. That's okay. Oh, man. Ugh. Right. Concerning, to say the least. It's not here, right? Add text. Or press. Reconnecting. Maybe we still had a old build in there. Guessing that was the problem. Stale outputs. Solved with a refresh. Stale outputs, you know. If that happens one time, that's okay. If that happens a few times, that is an issue. And I wonder what's going on. Yep, server version whatever running at the thing. That's okay. Status app. If the props will tell me anything. Unused binding. Acquire but never used. Redundant do. That's fine. Unused binding on. Click. Unused binding props. Unused binding add text. That's up here, so that's okay. Unused binding on click. Where are you from? It's unused, but you will have it soon. Unused binding props. Yeah, I don't think these would cause my problems, would they? I wonder. What could be the issue? It's not a modal. I don't think it's the layout block, because we're just like passing props through. So that must be in the pages. Add image, add text. And I wonder. Problem is this function somehow. Print line. Oop. Hello, test 1, 2, 3. If I can get it to print something else, that's at least forward progress. Great. So yeah, something about that function we wrote. Resets that variable to be true. It seems like fairly standard procedure. Function takes no arguments. Yeah, I think that's it. Alright, so that's the old JavaScript. Click. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that like shorthand function thing, that's a persistent mystery to me. So that's like theoretically just a way so you don't have to add like function like square braces, but some kind of subtlety going on there where didn't like the way I wrote it. Sometimes I can write and get away with it, and sometimes I can't. Up there, for instance. Yeah, don't know. Anyway, that's okay. We'll figure it out someday. Okay, so we can open this. We've got this little test dummy content here, and we can close it, so that's great. Yeah, so now I want a different style of input, or a different modal style, rather. So, let's see. Yeah, so we kind of, well, didn't really paint ourselves into an API corner, did we? But, yeah. I think I need to change this to, like, style. So if the style is small, centered, give me that. So style, small, centered. Now we've got room in our API for style, keyboard, or text entry. The text entry variant of this component. All right. So if the equals style text entry. Let's see. So we're gonna have like a height 25%. So it's gonna be like a height 1/4 and a width full width screen. Yeah, may as well do width screen, right? Right. So that's one class that we need. We need a second class as well. Modal. Probably needs a new name too, right? Modal class, and then overlay class. Probably some of this is going to go into the default overlay class. Yeah, maybe we should start from there. Don't really need small centered, anything special for small centered. So we'll just get rid of that. Overlay class name. We're just going to make that straight up overlay class. Okay, so if the style is text entry, what do we want? We want no background. We want fixed. And we want it at the bottom, so we probably want a different inset class. Insets. Yeah, like a bottom 0. That's what we want. So overlay class is going to be fixed bottom 0. Ah man, now we got. Or do we? Nah, I think it's okay if accessibility focus is trapped within the modal for now. Yeah, I think that's all right. All right, fixed bottom 0. Like a height 1/4 as well. Yeah, fixed one bottom 0, height 1/4. Yeah, that's good. BG whites, margin 6, padding 6, overflow auto. I think it's okay. That might be something that becomes just the small centered style, but let's see what we got with so far, or what we're working with so far. Alright, so add new layout block, That's all the same, so that's good. Add text. We get a little thing on the bottom. Alright. So what I wanted was something which is going to be like a quarter. Oh, yeah. So we got like height 1/4 here and also height 1/4 there, which means it's like 1/8 of the screen. So that's going to be height full. Middle class. Height full. Man, more closed string problems. Just so odd. Height full. Take note, close your script. I did not open any strings or close any strings. Great. And then we got some margin stuff going on, so no margin. Yeah. This becomes a part of the small center style. Alright, so BG white, that's cool. Padding 6, overflow auto, that's fine. I don't think we'll have any overflow. Yeah, let's take that off for the time being. Shouldn't have any overflow on this. Add text, great. Alright. Cool. Yeah, so that might not look totally right, but if you can imagine a phone screen, that's going to be on the bottom of the page, and then the keyboard's going to be under it, so yeah, basically that's going to be the thing on top of the keyboard that we're looking at. And now, what we can do is do a little cleanup, tidy cleanup. Alright, yes, this is going to be a text area. Text area. Class, height full, width full, I think. Now, 438, maybe we can get text entry. Border 2, border black. Add text, great. What is height full? Not give you a full height. Height 100%. Yeah, maybe like a height 30. Wonder if that gives us the appropriate number of rims. But of course, height 30 is not a valid Tailwind class. Probably what we're looking for is height 32. Indeed, we are. Alright, so that's going to give us 8 lines. 8 rim means 8 lines. Height 32. Shed a little more light on my subject here. Come on, JavaScript. There we go. Great. Yeah, maybe a little padding too. So the cursor isn't like hugging so tightly. Padding 4. Yeah, padding 4 looks good. P-4, great. Alright. Right. So yeah, now we're at the point where we can start to add a change handler to this text area. And Yeah, be really cool if we could tie that to the config object for that layout block in state, and then update that automatically. And as I've slowly been learning over the course of doing this project, and indeed working in the tech field in general, is that updating these things automatically is a bit complicated. And it's kind of opening the box of worms on performance issues as well. If I'm like calling a reset on every single little keystroke. I wonder if Clojure has like a debounce or like a throttle. Clojure throttle function execution. Throttle functions with core racing. Oh god. Throttler. Shared throttling. Burstiness. Oh, looks use a channel with a sliding buffer. Simple debouncing Clojure scripts. With the rate of an action. Goog async debouncer. Yeah, bookmarkable for sure. Bookmark this page. Cool. All right. Yeah, for now I'll just try to update it. It's like, as I say, that, you know, updating things live is kind of more trouble than it's worth in a lot of respects. Man, I'm having some RAM problems right now. I think I need to some tabs. Close all this. Ooh, so slow. Oh my goodness. I think my computer's trying to tell me it's tired too. Mouse. Stop the stream. I don't know. Hmm. Alright, so there's one app closed. I can close iTerm even though I don't think it's doing anything right now. Quit text editors, which certainly isn't the problem. Firefox possibly is. Oh. Lost my connection to Vagrant as well. Maybe that was the problem the whole time. Connection was closed. Yeah, I haven't done anything in the backend server. Maybe I can close this. There we go, now we're back, I think. I'm getting a lot of intense fan noises from the computer, but I think we're okay. Yeah, we're okay now. That's cool. Love that. Yeah, I like the progress we made today. It's looking really good. Great. Okay, no idea what the video's doing, but yeah, sorry if you guys are having problems. Whoa. It's all this like orange and red stuff going on. Kilobytes per second. In the red, in the orange, in the green. Blue, yellow, purple. And I'm just gonna kind of keep going. Trust that things are okay, but I don't really know what's going on. Anyway. If I don't see your chat, sorry. I closed Restream. I guess that wasn't really the problem, right? It wasn't Restream, it was VS Code after all, so I could probably open this back up again. Yeah, there we go. That's fine. Wonderful. Okay, back to the task at hand. Right, so that was text area. Oh, and I wonder how I would do this. So we've got like the state of the text area, and then we've got the state up in our atom blocks. Need to reconnect to my REPL, I think. There we go. Atom blocks, right. So that's our first block on the page with the window pane and the images. I guess, yeah, I could work on the state of this where it's like text 0. Select template, single row. Yeah, so I guess I want to click on these, add text, row index 1. Add image, add text on delete row index. Test image, right. So if I say like add text is sending a row image, or sending a row index and a call index, then we can go back to pages, add text, add photo. What was this add photo? Row index, call index, image URL. Swap the atom blocks by associating in that object at that particular row index, grab the images, map and replace it with the following URL. Alright. I do this? Yeah, I got 9 minutes left, right? So maybe I should just get to the point where I can, like, track state and update state. Or should I just call it a day? Yeah, 4:51. I think I've got a lot of work ahead of me in terms of, like, actually getting this thing to chooch. Add text. Yeah, is there anything productive I could do? Nah. I could make a close on escape. That's actually one thing I do need to do for accessibility purposes. Yeah, so we'll change that components. Escape. Set app element to your elements. API documentation, reference book. Okay, is open on after if open on request close. Is not called if is open is changed by other means. Close timeout millisecond style. Content label. Portal class name. ID. Body open, HTML open, ARIA hide app true. Should focus after render. Should close on overlay click. Should close on escape. Boolean indicating if pressing the escape key should close the modal. By disabling the escape key from closing the modal, you may introduce an accessibility issue. Yeah, so it's already got a default setting of true. Data, test IDs, overlay elements. On request close. Examples. On request close, this type handle close modal. Right, so I think I just need to open style on close. Alright, so this is going to be on request close is going to be on close. On request close. Yep, cool. Alright. And then if we go back to pages, we say on close, which is going to be reset atom block selector open false. Alright, and same thing for the modal. So open style on close and text input open false. Great. And theoretically that is all we need. Okay, so back here. And text escape. Nope. Mail block escape. Nope. Works in that. Is that state that show modal? Yeah, is there something I'm missing from this example? Show modal false. Open and close. Open sets it to true, close sets it to false. Open modal, state, close modal, close modal. Yeah, I've got it. Boy, as far as I can see, I got it right. And block selector open. On request close, it's on close, modal components, takes these functions, maybe I'll just say print and clicked escape. Right now I should see that print line. I'm nuts. Refresh for good luck. Escape. Very curious. 458. Request close is going to be anonymous function that print lines when I click it. Maybe that's my issue. Well, there's another prop. Overlay. Should close an overlay click. Should close an overlay click. Should close on escape. Maybe those weren't default values after all. Should close on escape. Overlay click true, should close and escape true. Maybe that is the missing piece. That's not the over. Oh. Yeah, because this is a normal React component, this is one rare opportunity I'm going to have to actually use the React development tools. So I wonder if I could take a look at the components on this page and make some kind of sense out of this. And of course I can't zoom in. Sorry for the small text, everybody. Are you hide app true? Yep. Should close on escape, true. Should close on overlay click, true. Yeah, as far as I can see, it's all right. So maybe the callback is what I got wrong. React modal on request close. On request close. It used to be the function on close. Maybe there's an event we can print as well. On request close. Do these two things. Print the event. Tell me that I clicked escape. What's the issue? What's the issue? No, it's not a Firefox thing because CodePen works. Yeah, I wonder if we could even get this to go. On after close function print line, we closed it. I'm thinking we don't have access to the most recent stuff. Well, I loaded that file into the REPL and now it's actually doing something. So if we now take this function, uncomment it, wrap it in parens, save, load it into the REPL again, reload, add text. Print line, closing. On request close, on after close. Load it in for good luck. Add new layout block, escape, closing. Oh, on close is null. Okay. Making progress. Oh. On close. Yeah, maybe we need to load this into the REPL for some reason. Man, now we don't get that log either. But if we go back to the modal, load it into the REPL. Refresh. Load it into the REPL one more time for good luck. Closing. On close is null. Definitely called it the right thing, right? It's definitely within the scope of the function, so it's not a problem of like trying to call a function that's like well and truly not available to us. And verily, we've passed it the exact same function that we closed to our close button, so what's the deal? Can't be this. Dashes and underscores in closure have a strange thing going on where like dashes become underscores and underscores become dashes, which I don't really fully understand, to be totally honest with you. So maybe I've got like an underscore dash thing going on. or maybe something else entirely. But anyway, God, can we stop it there, man? I think I want onClose is null. Can't access property call. onClose is null. How is onClose null when all the other props are coming through? onRequest close. onClose is null. How is it possible? All the other stuff is coming through. onClose is a function. Yeah, it must be some way that I'm passing the function down. What if I did it like this? Okay, this is the block selector. So if I do that, load it into the modal. Closing, onClose is null. Well, anyway, we're like 10 minutes over, and I think I'm spent as far as everything goes. But anyway, we made a lot of good progress. I'm much happier with the layout altogether than I was before. I think things are looking better. They're looking a little closer to what they're eventually going to look like when this thing is like, you know, well and truly on its way to becoming what it's going to be. So yeah, no, that's good. That's good stuff. Yeah, so we're going to make more progress on the UI. We're going to get to the point where we can add text. Once we can add images, we can add text. We can get to the point of styling images, styling text, uploading custom images, associating those custom images with users and logins and credentials and URLs and oh my god, I can't believe I thought I could get that done in 4 weeks. As I announced in the previous stream, I'm actually going to be developing this halfway into March, so got 2 weeks.